Man, Chief Instructor here at Barefoot Bushcraft, and I want to thank you for tuning into this video. So I'm going to talk today about something called serving, and that is a part of archery. Now, I'm a level 2 archery coach with the Ontario Archers Association, and when you go and you draw back a bow, you would normally take your arrow, and you're going to do what we call knocking the arrow, which is like this, and you're going to hold, the arrow is basically going to stick on here. If you don't have serving on your string, you'll see that the arrow flies all over the place. And if I draw it back, again, the same thing I can do, where the arrow is just basically going to fly all over. Now, some archers who do purely traditional archery will use this to their advantage because they use a different technique than we do at the OAA. But for us, it's a disadvantage, especially if you're a novice shooter. So basically, when this clips on, you can see that that's moves around and it comes off and it goes up and down. And really, that's, if you're a new shooter, that's going to be very, very challenging for you to try to do all of the other things, try to get all of your other steps, try not to put your finger on here when you're drawing your bow, and pull it back like that. You certainly don't want that to happen as an issue. So there's a very, very simple thing that you can do at home and wrap this string with another string, hence the name serving, and then what will happen is it will clip on. And I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. So like every project, the first thing we need to do is assemble our tools. So we have a pair of scissors. We have something called a serving jig. And it's kind of an important piece. You don't need this, but it's very important if you have one that you use it because it will save you a lot of effort. You have a tape measure here. I have some plumber's tape. You need something that is going to make a mark along this string. So the plumber's tape works really well and it comes off very easy. And of course, we're going to need an arrow. So the first thing we're going to want to do is put all our tools here in such a way that we can get at our project. We're going to take this arrow and we're going to knock the arrow fairly level. We haven't tuned this bow yet, so a level knock is fine. If you don't know what that means exactly, we have other videos that will explain exactly what knocking and level knocking means. So you're going to put it on just like this. Now, I'm going to take my tape measure here, and I have it set to about 4 inches, or properly about 10 centimeters, and I'm going to measure it just like this. So now what I want is enough distance here that I can put one finger, so maybe something like that at about 4 centimeters, and then down here enough for 2 fingers, because when you grab your string, you're going to put 1 finger on the top and 2 fingers on the bottom. So now I have that set. I'm going to take quickly a piece of my plumber's tape here, just like this, and I'm just going to wrap it around my string, just like that. There we go. And now I'm going to put some on the bottom at the 10 centimeter mark. So again, I'm going to take a little piece off, going to pull my arrow off because I no longer need it, at least not yet, and just wrap that around. So there we go. So now I have a nice 10 centimeter piece right here, measured out, and I can begin the serving process. So I don't need this anymore. I'm going to take my arrow and put it over out of the way. I don't need this anymore, so I can put that out of the way. And the scissors will keep over here. So we're going to take our serving tool and we're going to open that up like this, and inside I have a strung serving tool. I'm choosing to use red thread, but you can use any color that you want. And this is called a serving tool, and basically it's going to make our lives a lot easier rather than doing this by hand. So I'm going to take this, I'm just going to simply set the tension. Basically what the serving tool does is put tension on the rope so that we can whip it around. So I'm going to set this on, put some serving string on here, and then I'm going to whip it, and you'll see that, but instead of boring you, we're going to show you in super fast motion. Some excess, and I want to hold this and just peel off my marker because I don't need that. I'm just going to push that out of the way. You can take this and pull it snug. You can take your scissors and you can cut it just like this. And And then what you can do is you can actually use the stranded bowstring to your advantage. And how you'll do that is you'll take your thumb and you'll push it through, just like this, and you'll just basically tug on it. Now I'll let it go and I'll choose another point, just like this. And this way is much simpler. Pull it through. Now you see what's happening is you're using the weave of this bow to hold this in place. I'll do it a couple of times, maybe 3 or 4 times. I'll just randomly push my thumbnail or whatever through here. If you don't have nails, you could use a very blunt screwdriver. You can also buy a special tool that will allow you to do this as well without damaging your string. So there we go, and I'll choose one other random spot, maybe right here, and I'll do the exact same thing. So there we have it. Now that's on there, good and snug. Look at that. It's perfect. It's just what we want. I'm going to now take my pair of scissors here, and I'm just going to cut this off. It will stay. The other thing you can do too, this is like a Dacron line. You can take like a pair of like a lighter, and you can singe it to keep it on there. So the next thing I'm going to do is try this out. I'm going to put an arrow right on here like this, going to knock it, and you should hear or feel it. And once that's on there, now your arrow is going to stay on. See? It's not coming off no matter what I do. And that's exactly what you want, is the serving to catch that and not pull that off. So when I draw my arrow, it's going to stay on. So there you have it. I simply showed you how to take some serving string and a serving string tool, if you have one, and whip around the edge of this, the bowstring, and you clip that on. Now, let me show you the end result. Okay. Up here, just like I showed you at the beginning of this video, you've got this going on, right? You can see this doesn't stick. It comes off all the time. It can slip up and down. Okay, here, right here is where the serving I attached. Listen, that's what you want. You want to hear or feel that clip on there. Now check this out. If I were to take this, and I'm going to knock it properly. If I were to take this just like this, knock it on there. Now watch. Look. See how that stays on? That's what you want. You want your arrow to stay on there when you shake your bow. You see that guy's not going anywhere. That's exactly what you want. Again, when it comes off and you fire the bow, it's just going to come off. So you don't want this because it's going to fall off. You can see immediately, right? You want this, just to reiterate. Snap that bad boy on there, and there we go. Now, if I were to go ahead here and I were to fire this, right, I'm going to just draw it back and let it rip, and off it would go. So, quick little tutorial about that. If you want more information about the archery lessons that we offer, you can go online to barefootbushcraft.com. I'm going to put that URL right there. There we go. Thank you for watching this video. I am the Wolfman. Please consider subscribing.